I mentioned in a previous video that I've been watching a lot of these Hispanic crafters working their magic with some newspapers and magazines and white glue. Basically, there's this one gal, I swear to you, she could probably build a house out of newspapers and Elmers. I just know it. She does amazing things. Anyway, I've been really inspired by them and have been rolling paper tubes like a crazy woman. I just thought that the paper beads were addictive. The tubes are worse. At least they are for me. And it may be because they're a little bit easier for me to do. They're not pleasant to do if you have hand issues. You know, they're kind of like paper beads. Your hands are probably going to cramp up and complain. But they're not as difficult, I don't think anyway, because you know, they're not as small. You don't have to hold on to such a small thing. So, I started watching these videos. Needed to make some tubes. I had made some before several years ago, and they're still up in my art room. I never did use them for anything because I wasn't really inspired. But I discovered that I made them wrong. Not wrong, but in a not very efficient way. There's a better way. And what I learned is you need a strip of paper. Don't use the whole magazine page. Cut it into sections, and that makes your tube easier to fold and roll. If you use the whole sheet, then the middle part of your paper tube gets really thick because it's got a lot of layers rolled up in there. And when it's really thick, and if you're wanting to coil it into a little spiral like this, you're going to have trouble because it's hard to do with thin paper, but thick paper, really hard. So what you do is you cut it into pieces. And for like a standard magazine page, you would just open the magazine, maybe cut it in half down the middle. Just, you know, that's all you need. I've been doing about 4-inch wide strips. This was an old textbook of Taylor's that she couldn't resell. It was I think it was art history. And it was one of those that, you know, some textbooks you just can't sell back, so it was in a Goodwill box, and I went and fished it out because it had some pretty colors on some of the pages. So I cut the entire book up like that, and then I pulled a couple other books out too. She has this environmental science, which has some color in it, and the weight of the paper is good. Not too heavy, but it's got a glossy finish, and I like that. And then I also found a sociology, and this one has some good color in it, as well as it's even thinner paper, not quite as glossy, but it just has a nice finish on it. So, old textbooks, there you go. And boy, you can find old textbooks for next to nothing at thrift stores. They're always there, if you happen to need them. But of course you can use whatever magazines come into your house, or newspapers as well. I don't care as much for the newspapers, I'll tell you why in a minute, but the magazines are great. So all you do is cut your page down into about a 4-inch strip. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be straight, doesn't have to be exact. The only thing it does have to be is as smooth as you can get it on the edges. And some of these will have to be kind of trimmed up a little. I found this out when I started doing some newspapers, and I thought, okay, cutting these is going to be really tedious. I'll just lay a straight edge down and rip them into sections, you know, 4-inch wide strips, which that's what you usually do for paper mache. It works out fine. Not so much for this, because you do sometimes get a little, see the edge gets a little bit like that, or a little jagged where it gets torn, and that doesn't work because when you roll it, those little jagged edges stick out. So the whole tearing didn't work, but I did find that it wasn't a big deal to just, you know, fold the page up like this and cut it and make the strips that way. because it doesn't have to be perfect. So you take your magazine page or your newspaper page, and by the way, the Sunday paper with all of the sales ads and the big colorful grocery ads, oh, those are great because there's so much color in them. So, you know, Sunday, perfect. Let's use, this is one of the textbook pages. You need a skewer. This is one of the bigger skewers, and I don't know where I got it. Seems like I've seen them at the craft stores. I might have even gotten into the grocery store. But it's one of the, you know, kind of heavy duty ones. I don't know what size it is. But it's kind of the larger skewer, slightly smaller than a drinking straw. Put it that way. You take this, you lay it on the corner, one corner of your strip of paper. You don't need an exact what do you call that, like a right angle down at the bottom. You want it like this. Oh, I should have looked up my geometry. What is that, like a, that's a right triangle, right? And that's an isosceles? I forget. Okay, look at me spouting stuff off like I know what I'm talking about. Fold it in, start rolling, and you just want to make sure that it stays snug as you roll. Rolling, pick it up, and then the kind of glue I use depends on the paper. I probably should have got some different glue. I'll use like a thicker tacky glue on some of this thick paper, but you just need, even Elmer's would work on the newspapers and thinner papers. Pull your skewer out, and there's your tube. You know, takes practically no time at all. There is a learning curve, so you'll probably do at least 2 dozen before you get into the groove. That's about what it took me. And when you finish, you may notice that one end of your tube is a little bit bigger around than the other. Usually this end down here that you started with will stay nice and tight, but the one at the end where you end up is a little bit bigger. You want that. Of course, you don't want it to be huge. You don't want a huge difference. But if you look at it and you go, okay, I can tell this is slightly bigger than this one. Glue. Huh. That's okay, because you're actually going to need that. But that's all you do. And then you'll want to make about 1 million of these, because that's what it will take to really do anything with them. So after you've done about 1 million, then you can actually make something. But I really do find this soothing. Let me show you the newspaper ones. I found that the actual newspaper pages, like this is an actual newsprint newspaper page. I don't care for these as much. They're a little bit harder to roll up for me. It's hard to keep it tight. And plus they turn my hands black. So, and I usually just I'm just kind of gently holding it together with my left fingers like this, just to keep it from spreading out and getting too wide. But you just have to maintain a constant tension and don't let go. This is another reason why the longer newspaper strips irritate me. Okay, again. And you'll figure out whichever way works best for you. Sometimes keeping it laying on the table is best. Other times it's better if you pick it up and do this. You just have to figure out which way you like. And whatever you do, don't let go. A little glue. Glue it in. Pull your skewer out. And there you have it. I don't know if you can tell, this end is a little bit wider than this end. Not like, freakishly so, but a little bit wider, and that's okay, because that will be useful when you start coiling. So, there you have it. Now, after you've made 1 billion, like so, These are mostly some of the glossy ads from the Sunday paper. Then you can start coiling them, or you can just lay them out like this and make stuff out of them. I've seen some wall art and some clocks and some boxes covered with them, that kind of thing, which is great. I love all that stuff. One thing you can make that's very easy is a bowl, and you start by making a coil like this, and I may do like a demo video for one of these, but this won't be it. This one is a base. It's already glued together. It doesn't move. But you just start coiling. And if you're going to coil the strips like this, or you're going to make a bowl, it's easier if you flatten them first. This didn't occur to me until I think it was yesterday, and I saw it was a blog post or maybe an Etsy shop of a woman who sells stuff made out of magazine pages, but they're like several $100s for each one of the things that she sells, because they're awesome. And she talks about the process, and why they cost so much is because it's just so time consuming to roll all the papers and then flatten them. And she said that, and then flatten them. And I was like, oh, she flattens them? Because I had just been, taking where's the one I just did? I had just been taking the thing, start here, like that, put a little dab of glue, and then just roll, just like that, and just flatten it myself as I went along. That's what I was doing. It didn't occur to me to flatten them out first and then coil them. And you'll see there's some bowls and paper stuff made out of magazine pages that have been folded instead of coiled, and that's an option too. I just don't like the folding thing. That's not soothing to me. This is soothing to me. Folding is just irritating. I don't know why, but it is in that context anyway. But she said flatten, and I went, oh, and she didn't say how she flattened them or what she used to flatten them, but I found that a pasta machine works nicely. And I've got one of those silver crank tabletop pasta machines that has never seen a drop of pasta in its entire life. It is for craft purposes only. And I used to run a lot of polymer clay through it, but it is perfect for just running these little dudes through there. Flattens them right out, makes them much easier to coil, and the coils are much neater. So there's you an option for that. If you don't have a pasta machine, you could probably use, if you have a die cut machine with one of those long plates on it, that would probably work too. Just anything to squish them. And then you can coil them and make them into something like this bowl that I made. And it is nothing but coil. I think that this one was part of the art history book. And it's the coiled tubes, and the reason that you need one end to be bigger than the other while you're coiling, and you want to, you get one tube coiled and you're ready to add the next, you want to be able to slip one end into the other. And if you have one end that's always a little bit bigger than the other, it's much easier to get them to fit together. So that's why that one end bigger is actually a good thing. And I'll put the video for the link for the video that I watched the Hispanic woman doing this with, and because she just does it really well. And just kind of made the bowl, really winged it, looked at some videos, but kind of made it up as I went. Did the whole base like this, which it's really easy. You just keep adding coils till it gets the size you want. And then just started, instead of leaving them flat, just used a little glue to build them up as I went. And there's a couple different ways to do that. I'm going to try another way too. And when it was done, I used some markers, just some of these Faber-Castell markers, and just kind of scribbled on it. Really, that's all I did. Random scribbles. And with the color and print that was already on there, And combined with the marker, which is really kind of transparent, it just came out looking really cool. So I like it. And all I used to seal it when it was done is I have a little container of watered down Elmer's, and that's what I used. This, now that it's finished with the color and everything, I will put a better sealer on it, like a varnish or something. Or Mod Podge would be fine. You know, I mean, you're not trying to get it dishwasher safe or anything. Just sealed enough to use. So these are fun to do. And if you want to kick it up a notch, bam! Bam! There's these. This is a basket that I made, and this was oh my gosh, I've got a million paper beads, what am I going to do? So I came up with this little thing to put a bead in the middle of each little coiled thingy. And this whole thing is made out of Taylor's old art history book. And I was inspired to make this by this basket that I have. This most awesome basket that I have and that I love. And ooh, I don't know if you can see it without me spilling it. It is made out of bottle caps. And I did not make it. I bought it. And I think I bought it at Barnes & Noble. They had a bunch of stuff like this at one time that was made, it's like made in Africa or something. And it was some kind of special, you know, imported, maybe fundraising, crafty things that they had. And I just loved it because it's so, okay, some of these I've not really even heard of before. And, you know, others are relatively mainstream, but it's just so rustic and cool. And I love it. This is just one of my favorite things. And I've collected some water bottle caps in it. And if you happen to know why I'm collecting these water bottle caps, could you just leave that in the comments? That would be really great, because I'm not sure. I am quite sure that I need to collect them, but now that my little bucket's full, I have stopped. But I really should do something with them, or at least get some ideas. And there is a rather large box in my garage full of these that I got from a, volunteering at a color run. And we gave out like 4,000 bottles of water, and I kept every cap. So I have a lot of plastic water bottle caps. And one day I'm going to be really glad that I have them, but that day is not today. So if you could just tell me why I have them and make me glad, that would be so great. So that was kind of the design inspiration for this, because I love that bottle cap basket so much. I just sort of mimicked the design here with these little spirals, and these were 3 tubes, book page tubes together. And then I tied them together. This is some hemp cord stuff, and I still haven't trimmed it off. And the bottom is a cereal box, Cocoa Puffs. No, not Cocoa Puffs. Golden Grams. It's a piece of a Golden Graham cereal box that I just put some of the tubes on for the bottom. And I used a combination of just some tacky glue type stuff, and then there's some hot glue in here too. Jason drilled all of the little holes for the beads so that I could run the hemp up through there. And then I had intended to put handles on it like the other one, but when I got to that point I was so darn sick of looking at it, I just wanted to call it done. So I just stuck these beads on top, which I wasn't really crazy about, and I'm still not just loving it, but it's okay, because it's kind of funky and weird and different, and I like it. I mean, ideally it would have been great to put paper beads on here, but making a round paper bead is a beast. It's a beast that I don't like. So I wasn't going to do that. But this, I thought this was a really good use for the whole bunch of paper beads. And I really love the way it turned out. And I thought that I might sell these on Etsy, and I still might, I'm not sure, but they're going to cost about $4 million each because that's how much trouble they are to make. And I'm sure the second one will be much easier now that I know what I'm doing and I know what not to do. But yeah, this was a trip. So there's that. And that's what this base is right here. I'm working on another one, but I'm working on a round, kind of a large bowl with some of these open thingies. And I will probably use some more paper beads in there too. So there you go. Ideas for upcycling some newspapers, magazines, and textbooks, and for using all of the paper beads that I'm sure you have, and for filling up all of your spare time, because I know you have tons of it. So, oh, I forgot to show this, which I'll show you right quick, and you know, I'll point you to the video, because like I said, I learned from somebody else and don't really have anything to add, and I may do a bowl tutorial video at some point, but this is not that point. But I did want to show you, to get the open coil like this, is just use something. I had this little lotion bottle, and it was about the size that I wanted. So that's what I used to coil the things around like that, and that made the open section. And just depending on how big of a container you use, you can make some with smaller ones or bigger openings in them. So that's how you get that look. So okay, until I think of something else urgent to talk to you about, that's it. Let's just be extra awkward and say the end.